Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sam. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I have been licensed for about 2 years now, and I work in a salon doing hair and eyelash extensions. And in today's video, I wanted to share with you guys the reality of being a hairstylist. I get DMs literally every day from you guys asking me for my advice, my opinion, and saying things like, oh, I'm thinking about going to beauty school. I think I want to do hair, but I don't know if it's the right choice for me. What do you think that I should do? And I can't tell you what to do with your own life, obviously. Nobody can. It's your life. It's your decision to make. But hopefully by making this video and sharing my experience and all of the ins and outs, the pros and cons of this industry and this career, hopefully it will make the decision-making process a little bit easier for you. Now, of course, keep in mind, this is all just based on my own personal experiences, and these are also my experiences as a newer stylist. By the way, I have an entire cosmetology playlist. I have vlogs where I shared my entire experience picking a cosmetology school, my time throughout cosmetology school, afterwards. I have a video where I talk about my experience in school, the things that I learned, tips for picking a beauty school, all that kind of stuff. So I will put that playlist down in the description. Go check it out. I have tons and tons of information and advice that I think you might find helpful. So let's get into everything. I'm gonna tell you guys the total honest truth. Working in the beauty industry is tough. It takes a lot out of you. It is physically exhausting, mentally, emotionally. It requires so much more than just your technical skills. Just because you're really good at cutting hair doesn't mean that you are a great hairstylist. There's so much more to the job position than just being good at whatever your specialty is. And I think some people look at this job and they think that it's so glamorous and it seems like it's so fun and, oh, it's such an easy job. I get to go into work and I get to just make people feel pretty and just play with hair all day. And I totally understand how on the surface it appears that way, but if you are thinking about getting into this industry just because you think it'll be fun and easy, no. You've got it all wrong. It is so physically demanding. If you're doing hair, you are up on your feet standing all day long. And depending on how many hours you work in a day, how busy you are, how booked you are with clients, you can be on your feet all day long without any kind of break. There are so many days where I go without eating any lunch, without even getting a chance to run to the bathroom to pee. When I'm doing lashes, I'm hunched over. It puts a lot of strain on my eyes, a lot of strain on my back and my shoulders. Same thing if you're doing nails. On top of that, it can be so mentally draining because remember, you are dealing with the public. Like I said, it's not just about doing amazing hair, doing amazing nails. You have to be dealing with your clients and interacting with them. And I always say, I feel like I have to be putting on a show all the time. And that's not to say that I'm like being fake with everybody, but I'm very introverted. So if I'm having a bad day or just one of those days where I just don't feel like talking to anybody and I just want to like keep to myself, I can't. You need to always be pleasant and friendly and in a good mood. When I had a 9-to-5 desk job, if I was in a bad mood, I could just sit there at my desk on my computer and it was fine. Now, no, I have to just get over it and I have to just like fake it till I make it on those days. And for someone like me where being really bubbly and outgoing doesn't come naturally, it takes extra work. So it gets very exhausting. By the end of the week, on my days off, I just want to sit at home, not interact with anyone, not talk to anybody. Like I just want to be left alone and just sit in silence. You also are going to deal with some people that are just assholes. Like anytime you're in a position where you're dealing with the public, you're always going to have that occasional person that is just so difficult. And those people can be so mentally draining. You're going to have people that give you a hard time, that waste your time, that try to get discounts, that try to complain, try to get their services done for free, try to get a refund, people that are just really rude for no apparent reason. It can also get really messy and kind of gross at times. I remember when I was younger, I would look at hairstylists and think like, oh, they looked so pretty. Like that just looks like such a glamorous, beautiful job. No, your job is to make other people look and feel beautiful. You, on the other hand, are gonna be a hot mess. By the end of the day, especially if I'm doing a lot of color, I have stains all over my clothes. I usually can't wear really cute, nice outfits because I'm terrified that I'm gonna ruin them with color or something. Stuff will get in my hair sometimes. I'm sweaty because I've been like physically busting my ass all day long. And sometimes you just are dealing with things that are a little bit gross. If you're doing pedicures and somebody has some real funky feet, or if you're doing somebody's hair and their hair is like really, really dirty, or they have like a lot of dandruff or stuff that's like going all over the place. If you're doing makeup or eyelash extensions and people have like crusty stuff in their eyes and they haven't like washed their face properly, they have like old crusty makeup on. You're dealing with people's bodies. You're like touching other human beings. So it can get a little gross sometimes. You also have to be really good about marketing yourself, especially nowadays where everybody is doing everything online and through social media. Word of mouth is never going to die, of course, but majority of people nowadays, when they're looking for a new stylist, they're going online, they're looking on Instagram. So you gotta be active online, you gotta know how to market yourself. Now, as far as making money, this is something that I always get questions on. People always wanna know, like, how much money can I expect to make? I mean, this is what I wanted to know too before I went to beauty school. And the thing is, it completely varies. You can be completely broke and make no money at all in this industry, or you can be bringing in six figures. I believe if you work for some type of corporate chain salon, they do pay you a small hourly wage. But if you're going off on your own or working at a private salon, you are only making money from the services that you're doing. So if you come into work and you have no clients that day, you made $0 for that day. But if you're working a 10-hour shift and you're completely booked back to back, you could easily make like 1,000 plus just in that one day. It varies based on how busy you are, based on what services you're doing, what your prices individually are, and also the area that you live in. If you live in a really big city, your prices are probably gonna be higher and it's probably gonna be really busy. You're probably gonna be able to grow your clientele pretty quickly, as opposed to if you live in a really small town like I do, your prices are probably gonna have to be a little bit lower just to accommodate the people that live in that area, and it's gonna be a little bit harder and take longer to build your clientele. So you're probably gonna make less money if you're working in a really small town versus working in a big city. So again, it totally depends, and you easily can make a lot of money working in this industry. I follow so many stylists on Instagram that make six figures. However, it's not something that is going to happen overnight. It takes time. You have to grow your skills, you have to grow your clientele. You're not gonna just graduate beauty school and automatically be this amazing stylist and make a shit ton of money. I mean, I don't know, maybe some people do, but on average, most people are not. It's gonna take time. You gotta get good, you gotta get more experience, more practice, take more classes, and the better you get, the more desirable you're gonna be, and so the more money you will make. Starting out fresh out of beauty school, you're probably gonna be broke. That's just the reality of it. When I first started, I went immediately into a private salon. I was making like $300 a week or so on average, and that's before taxes and including tips. Yeah, it was rough. I was making pretty much no money. Again, I do live in a small town, so keep that in mind. If you live in a bigger city, you might be able to make a little bit more just starting out, but don't expect to be pulling in some really big fancy income. You're just barely going to be able to scrape by in the very beginning, most likely. And I'm not saying that to be discouraging. I'm just trying to be real with you guys. I want to be honest. Like, that just is how it is. Where I work now, I'm in an even smaller area. It's a privately owned salon again, and it's by appointment only. Like, we never get walk-ins. And also when I started there, I've been there now for about 1.5 years. When I first started there was when the salon was first opening. So I couldn't rely on walk-ins or rely on the salon bringing clients in for me. I had to bust my ass and be on social media and try to get the word out and grow my clientele on my own. Again, I have a separate video on how I did that. So that's also in my cosmetology playlist. I also have a video too where I talk more in depth about my first year as a stylist and my work experiences, how much money I made, all that kind of stuff. And now at this point, about 2 years into it, I would say on an average week, I make anywhere from, I don't know, like between maybe 500 and 700 a week. And again, that's including tips and before taxes. However, I will say I only work part-time at the salon. I obviously do YouTube, and this is my job as well. So if I was working full-time hours in the salon, I could be making a lot more. I could essentially be making double. Another thing to keep in mind too is that your income is going to significantly vary week to week and month to month. There is no guarantee. You can have 1 month where you are killing it. You're super busy, you are bringing in so much money, and then the next month could just be really slow and you'll make like a third of what you made the previous month. There's also just slow seasons in this industry. Like right now that I'm filming this, it's December, so around the holidays it gets crazy busy, but then right after it slows down. Summertime usually is pretty slow as well. So there's just, it just totally varies. Some months you're gonna make a lot more than other months. Another thing that I wanted to mention when talking about money is that there is no guaranteed health insurance. If you're working as an employee at a salon, there are some salons that will offer you benefits, but majority of them don't. And especially if you are just working for yourself, either booth renting at a salon or just renting your own space, you are fully responsible of getting your own insurance and health coverage and that kind of stuff. So that's another thing to keep in mind. You also don't get any paid vacation or sick days. So if you want to take some time off to go on vacation, those are days that you're not going to make any money. Also, if you end up getting sick, say you have a really busy day where you're fully booked and you wake up that morning and you have the flu, you now have to reschedule all of those clients. And again, you're not going to make any money for that day because you didn't go to work. So there's definitely a lot of pros and cons in this industry. And I think I mentioned a lot of cons. However, there are so many pros. The first one, and the one that I love the most, like I think this is probably my favorite part about having this career, the flexibility. Now, of course, it's going to vary depending on where you work. Some salons are a little bit stricter. If you're going to be an employee somewhere, they're going to be a little bit stricter and they might tell you what your hours have to be. However, in this industry, you can choose to do whatever you want. You can freelance, you can rent a place. There's so many endless options. So you have so much control over your career. There is so much flexibility. You can choose when you want to work. And because it's an industry where you're only getting paid from the work that you're doing, the services that you're providing, you can work as much or as little as you want. Me, for example, because I have my YouTube channel and that takes a lot of time and that's like my second job, I don't have to work full-time hours at the salon. I can customize my schedule and make it work around my lifestyle. I'm not a morning person, so guess what? The earliest that I ever start is 10 o'clock. Say you prefer to start later in the day and work nights, you can. Say you hate working at nights and you'd rather work early in the morning and get out sooner, you can do that. Maybe you have a family, you have kids, you want to get home from work the same time that your kids get out of school. You can do that. Say I have some kind of event coming up, or I just want to take a day and go to the beach. I can block out a day in my schedule and just not work that day and go do whatever the hell I want. I'm not making any money for that day, but ultimately I'm the only one that's losing out on that, you know? Unlike with a traditional 9-to-5 type of job, I don't have anybody telling me you have to show up this particular day, you need to sit here for this amount of hours. If I have a really slow day and I'm done with my clients like 2 hours early, I'll just go home. I also get to do what I love and be creative every day. Every day at the salon is totally different. Even if I'm doing the same thing, like I can have 4 haircuts and essentially I'm doing the same service, but each client is so different. So the experience is gonna be so different. Their hair is different. And I love that I can go into work and it doesn't just feel like work. I don't feel like, ugh, now I have to sit here for like 6 more hours. I get to work with my hands and make art, and I love that. I also get to meet new people all the time, which even though I am an introvert, it's so nice, I think anyway, to be able to just meet strangers all the time and get to interact with so many different kinds of people and different personalities. You also get to make people feel really good, and let me tell you, that is one of the best feelings. When you turn somebody around, hand them the mirror, and they look at themselves and you just see in their eyes that they love what they're looking at and they just feel so good. Like you can really turn somebody's day around by just giving them like a nice head massage while you're shampooing them or something, you know, like a blowout can really do so much to change somebody's mood. Another thing that's awesome about this industry is that it is always changing and there's so many options. There's always new techniques coming out and there's also just so much that you can do. So I specialize in hair color, right? If I ever get tired of doing that, I can go and specialize in something else. I can specialize in men's cuts, take some barbering classes. Or if I get tired of hair completely, I can go work in a spa and do facials. There's so many different options, so it's really one of those fields where you can never become stagnant and bored. Let me tell you, as somebody who's worked a 9-to-5 desk job, you get stuck in that routine of just waking up every morning, doing the same thing, sitting at your desk, waiting till the day's over so you can finally go home. You just get in this horrible rut and this routine. And I have never felt that way since I started doing hair. Every day is just so different. Every day I'm just so excited. And honestly, even on the days, because every day I'm not like, oh my God, can't wait to go to work. I obviously have my days where I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like dealing with people. I just want to stay home. But even still, even on those days where I'm not really feeling it, it's still so much better and so much more rewarding for me than having to go sit at a desk all day. So when it comes down to the question of, is this the right career for you? Should you go to beauty school and become a cosmetologist? Honestly, I really don't feel like this career is for everyone. It's tough. Is it the hardest job in the entire world? No, absolutely not. But it's not as easy as I think a lot of people think that it is. There's definitely a lot of cons to it, and it just comes down to what's more important to you. Do you want something that's just going to be stable and steady and you have a guaranteed income every month? Because if so, this probably isn't the right career for you. You really, truly have to love it and be super passionate about this industry in order to do this and in order to actually stick with it and become successful, because it's hard work. It's not something that's just gonna come easy. You have to really be a self-starter. You have to be willing to hustle. And when I think about it, if I didn't love what I do so much, I probably would give up on it. Because if I wasn't super passionate about it, it wouldn't all be worth it to me. I easily could go get another job with my degree and make probably way more money. I'd make consistent money. I'd get benefits. I'd get health insurance. I would get paid holidays and sick days. It wouldn't be as physically demanding. I wouldn't have to be dealing with the public. It would be a lot easier, but I wouldn't feel as fulfilled. I wouldn't wake up every day looking forward to going to work. So for me, this is all worth it. And I love what I do. I love this industry. So that is gonna be it for this video. Like I said, go check out my cosmetology playlist. I have so many videos on there. Anything that you wanna know more about that I didn't dive super deep on in this video, all of that stuff you can find on that playlist. I'm so happy to encourage people to get into this field. If this is something that you've always wanted to do your whole life, go for it. However, I want you to know the honest truth and have a better idea of what to expect. Any of you guys who currently are working in the beauty industry, if you want to leave your experience down in the comments, whether you agree with the things I said or disagreed, like I said, this is just only based on my personal experience. So I'm really happy to learn from other cosmetologists and hear your experiences. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. Also, if you'd like to see more from me, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.